Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a Luch Green video. This is 4 chillin' missing person cases with extremely eerie CCTV footages. We're gonna get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment your thing down below. Let's go.
2017, a 5-year-old girl named Mariel Cruz went out to play at her friend's house not far away from where she lived. After failing to return home, she was reported missing by her family. Residents and law enforcement in the area joined forces to search for her. After hours of searching, little Mariel was tragically discovered lifeless in the grassy area of Verde Heights subdivision, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. She was found inside a sack with a cable wire and a bag strap wrapped around her neck. Upon examination of CCTV footage in the area, a disturbing revelation unfolded. On a Saturday at 2:46 in the afternoon, the footage captured the elder brother of Mariel's playmate, who was only 13 years old. The teenager was seen with Mariel walking and entering an abandoned house owned by one of his relatives. A few minutes later, the teenager came out and peeked from the house to check if there were any people nearby before going back inside. Moments later, he emerged again, this time without a t-shirt and carrying a white sack. He headed towards the vacant lot where he had hidden Mariel's body. After concealing the body, he returned to the vacant house and then went back to his home. He even encountered Mariel's mother, acting as if nothing had happened. It seems that in the video footage, Mariel was hesitant to go with him. The teenager first walked outside alone, looking back to see if little Mariel was following him. When he realized Mariel was not behind him, he went back to the house to convince her to come with him.
What a disturbed 13-year-old. 13! He's 13 years old! And he is convincing a 5-year-old to go into an abandoned house with him so he can kill her. He's a disturbed individual. He should not be allowed outside. That's a disturbed mind he has. Like, that is a fucked up, disturbed mind. It's a messed up guy in a messed up situation.
Unfortunately, he managed to persuade her to go along. Mariel died from asphyxia due to strangulation using the wire, and she had signs of injury in the anal area. Following statements from both parties, the 13-year-old suspect admitted to the crime and faced further investigation at the prosecutor's office. After the inquest at the prosecutor's office, he was taken to the San Jose del Monte City Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD for turnover, due to his status as a minor. However, due to the reported lack of a coding center or shelter for minor offenders, there is a possibility that the teenage suspect may be sent home to his parents, while the prosecutor has not yet made a final decision on which custodial arrangement he will ultimately be placed under. Expressing their anger and seeking justice, Mariel's family denounced this potential outcome. According to the teenage suspect, he allegedly committed the crime because he was provoked by Mariel's frequent teasing.
What? What? She's 5 years old. What she do? Breathe oxygen to you? She's like, breathe oxygen, and he's like, oh, she's letting me on there. Does anyone know where this 13-year-old is located? Because I think I need to beat him with a fucking baseball bat. What a fucked up if he gets anything but is said to, if he is free in any form, that's a problem with society and this area where he lives. Because he should never be allowed out again. He should not be allowed to wander around or anything again.
In March 2010, 41-year-old Surya Toha mysteriously vanished. She was reported missing by her husband, 63-year-old Munawar Toha. Munawar said that on March 23rd, he and Surya woke up at 6:30 a.m., but he didn't get out of bed, claiming he was very sick. He was so ill that he called his workplace to inform them he wouldn't be coming in.
Is this the guy I think it is?
That day. At 8 a.m., Surya went to drop their 2 boys, aged 9 and 5, at school, and she was never seen or heard from again.
Okay.
Munawar told the
No, it's not the one I thought it was, okay.
police that later that morning, he heard the door open and close a couple of times. He thought there were people talking downstairs, but didn't think much of it, and continued sleeping.
Who'd you think it was? Who'd you think it was? If I heard multiple people I don't know talking downstairs, my first reaction is like, it's fine. Nope. I'd be going down there to get, even if I'm sick, I'm going to figure out the fuck's going on.
Assuming it was just Surya. When he finally...
What do you mean? It's multiple people. You heard multiple people. What do you mean you thought it was just her? What'd you think, she was talking to herself in different voices? What the fuck do you mean?
got out of bed at 10 a.m., Surya was not home. He tried calling her cell phone several times but got no answer. He also contacted her friends and neighbors to see if they had any idea where Surya was, but they too had no information. Since Surya was not around, Munawar decided to pick up the boys from school and brought them to a neighbor's house while he desperately searched for Surya around the neighborhood for hours. After not finding her until evening, Munawar drove home. 24 hours since Surya went missing, Munawar finally reported her disappearance to the police. He also informed them that the day before Surya disappeared, someone had withdrawn $5,000 from their bank account. When asked by the police where the money was, Munawar said he had no idea. It was gone. The police initially suspected she might have run away with a boyfriend. However, Surya's friends and family insisted she was a devoted mother who loved her children very much and would never leave them. The question remained, what really happened to...
But the husband knows. I bet the husband knows.
Surya. The police began their investigation by looking at the last place Surya visited, her children's school. The school had 5 surveillance cameras, so the detectives requested the footage from the day Surya went missing. In the CCTV footage, Surya is seen getting out of the car with her children just before school starts. She brought them to the entrance, said goodbye, and went back outside. She chatted briefly with another parent before returning to her car. Everything seemed fine. Surya and her children looked happy, and she didn't appear stressed or distressed. Teachers at the school mentioned that she was supposed to return at 10 a.m. for her older son's field trip. However, when detectives checked the school CCTV cameras around that time, she was nowhere to be seen. She never came back. Detectives traced her car through any available CCTV cameras in the area. Police patrols also searched her neighborhood, parks, wooded areas, and also searched the behind of any buildings, but found no sign of Surya's car, a 2001 silver Daewoo with license plate 502 HUV. Eventually, detectives turned their attention to Munawar. They asked about his whereabouts during the time his wife went missing. He said he picked up their boys from school that afternoon, which was backed up by CCTV footage. His silver Nissan pickup truck is seen in the video at 12:35 p.m., and he is also seen entering the school. With Munawar's statement corroborated, the police believed he had nothing to do with his wife's disappearance.
That wouldn't end anything for me. If that wouldn't convince me of anything if I was the detective. If he would have been like, yeah, I picked up my kids from school, like, well, he did do that. I'm like, yeah, like hours later, what the fuck? That doesn't undo anything. That doesn't unprove anything. All it proves is that he was not around, that he was around in the city 4 hours later. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove him innocent. What the fuck?
Later, Munawar and Surya's sister held a press conference, hoping media attention would help find Surya. Munawar was very emotional as he asked anyone with information about his wife's whereabouts to come forward.
Oh, I know.
Detectives got a lead in the case a week after Surya disappeared, when Munawar showed them a note he found among Surya's belongings. The note stated that she had been raped by one of Munawar's co-workers, named Malcolm Clark, and that she couldn't go on with her life anymore. Detectives interviewed Malcolm Clark, who said he didn't know Surya and had never met her. The only connection between him and Surya was being a co-worker of Munawar. Lacking evidence against Clark, the detectives had to let him go. Suspicious of Clark, detectives used his workplace and the Toha home as starting points for their search for Surya. That's when they noticed that between these two places was Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake is also near the warehouse where Malcolm Clark worked, Powerline Business Park, at 4100 N. Munawar also worked there as a toll equipment technician with the State Department of Transportation. Investigators drove to the area and focused on the shoreline, looking for any evidence of tire tracks, marks, or if the water was clear enough, they might be able to see a car towards the bottom of the lake. The perimeter of the lake around the warehouse was surrounded by a 6-foot chain-link fence. While driving around, investigators saw an area where a part of the fence was disturbed, as if a car had gone through the bush and the fence and then finally into the lake. Investigators didn't know what caused the damage or when it happened, but they noticed security cameras belonging to a local business overlooking the lake and nearby parking lot. They wasted no time and checked the CCTV footage, and that's when they discovered the fence was disturbed the day Surya went missing. The first image the investigators saw was from 9 a.m. the previous day, 12 days after Surya went missing. It showed the bushes and the fence already damaged. The investigators rewound the footage in 24-hour increments, focusing on the fence, the damaged area, and the bushes. Each day at 9 a.m., the damage to the bushes and fence was present, until the day Surya disappeared. On that day at 9 a.m., the fence and bushes were still intact. Investigators continued to scrub the footage frame by frame for when the fence was broken, and then, in the middle of the night, they saw Surya's car pulling into the parking lot. A man can be seen getting out of the driver's seat. He walked to the right and returned to the car to remove a bicycle from the trunk and put it aside. The man then drove Surya's car over the swale. Through the hedges and over the fence. He then got out of the car and eerily watched the car for a few moments as it slowly sank into the abyss of the lake. Once the car was completely out of sight and he was satisfied, he walked away, took his bicycle, and pedaled away from the scene. Detectives couldn't identify the man from the dark footage but knew it wasn't their prime suspect, Malcolm Clark. The unknown man was much shorter than Clark. Fortunately for the detectives, there were still hours of footage on the videotape after the car went into the lake, so they kept watching. At 11:11 p.m., just 9 minutes after the unidentified man rode away from the scene with his bicycle, a silver Nissan pickup truck appeared in the footage. It turned around and quickly drove off. It was a silver pickup truck just like the one Munawar owned.
I knew Munawar was no damn innocent bastard. See, you can't just take him as innocent because he went and picked his kids up. That's not enough. See, I knew there was something sketchy about that man. See, I know. See, when a part, just that's why people always look at partners, because they just you can't fucking trust their wording.
When detectives replayed the video, they saw a bicycle in the back of the pickup truck. It was now clear to the police who was behind Surya's disappearance. Her husband, Munawar Toha. The police believed Munawar Toha returned to the scene to double-check if the car had really sunk. Police divers rushed to the scene and scoured the bottom of Crystal Lake. It didn't take too long for the divers to find Surya's car. The car they found had the license plate 502 HUV, which confirmed it to be Surya's. Once the car was removed from the lake, investigators found Surya's body wrapped in trash bags inside. When the police investigated the Toha's home, they found blood droplets in the kitchen, where they believed Munawar had attacked and murdered Surya. Surya was struck multiple times with an object like a pipe. While dying in the kitchen, Munawar wrapped her in trash bags and put her into her car. Police arrested Munawar Toha outside his house as he prepared to drive away and flee the country with his 2 kids. While in jail, Munawar even hired a hitman to kill some witnesses. What Munawar didn't realize was that the hitman was actually an undercover detective, and he—
Holy shit, Munawar. You're not doing well for yourself, are you? You are not doing well for yourself. You try to hire a hitman to take out some witnesses. I don't know who. You don't have witnesses to your crimes. The only witnesses you have are like people, officers of security footage. They just figured you out because you're fucking sketchy as shit. And couldn't resist coming back a second time. And the person's an undercover agent, so you fucked up there too. You're just a fuck up. That's what you are.
He was caught lying again. On October 22nd, 2014, Munawar Toha was convicted for the murder of his wife and was sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
On the afternoon of December 14th, 2023, 7-year-old Aaron Vergara asked his mother if he could briefly go out of their house in Barangay Espinosa, Calubian, Leyte in Philippines. Aaron did not specify where he would go, but he promised his mother he would not go far. His mother told him to take care, and off he went. Several hours passed, and Aaron's mother began to worry when he had not returned home. She checked their backyard, but found no sign of him. She also called Aaron's aunt to see if he was there, but Aaron wasn't there either. As night fell, her worry grew. Several surveillance cameras in the area were recovered by the police and would explain Aaron's disappearance. What they discovered was shocking. The next day, December 15th, the Calubian Municipal Police went to search for little Aaron. They eventually wound up in the mountainous part of Barangay Palid Uno in Leyte. Later, they found Aaron's lifeless body at the top of the mountain, hidden underneath some grass. Aaron died due to asphyxia by strangulation. In the CCTV footage at 2:15 p.m. of 14th of December, Aaron was seen walking outside their house along with a man who was an errand boy of the family. The man was identified as Kevin Lapu Lapu Maglasang, 27-year-old.
Holy shit, what a name. What a fucking name he has. God damn.
Who worked at the family's Lechon Manok business. By continuing to watch the shots from the CCTVs from different angles, Aaron and Kevin were seen walking further away from the house. Later, at 2:30 p.m., Aaron was caught on CCTV in another barangay, this time riding a tricycle. Beside him was Kevin. Aaron's family quickly traced the tricycle driver and asked where he had taken Aaron and Kevin. The driver said they had stopped in Barangay Tigbawan, where he saw Kevin take Aaron on a motorbike towards the mountainous area. It is reported that Kevin had borrowed the motorbike from his brother, saying they were going somewhere nearby. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon of December 14th, the day Aaron disappeared, Kevin was seen in CCTV footage going back to the house, but Aaron was nowhere to be seen. Later, he went out carrying a backpack. The next day, Kevin even went to work as if nothing had happened. With the CCTV footage as evidence that Kevin was the last person seen with Aaron, the family confronted him. Initially, Kevin denied seeing Aaron that day, but the family insisted he was lying, citing the CCTV evidence. Then, they noticed scratches on Kevin's neck, which he claimed to have gotten from grass at his house. Suspicious, the family handed Kevin over to the police. There, Kevin admitted—
Hold on. So did they, kidnap him? Did they, kidnap him and hold him hostage until he revealed who he was? Until he really did it? And when he did, they just gave him the police? Because that's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting from the way she's describing this.
Admitted that he took Aaron and left him in Sitio Lawad, Barangay Palid Uno. The police and Aaron's family immediately rushed to the scene, with Kevin guiding them. While Aaron's family waited by the road, Kevin led the police up a grassy hill where they discovered Aaron's body. After Aaron was found, Kevin confessed to killing him. He claimed he committed the crime in revenge for Aaron's mother allegedly mistreating his younger brother, who also worked as an errand boy at the family store. He said Aaron's mother had hurt his younger brother because he had made an obscene gesture towards another of her children. Kevin admitted he had covered Aaron's mouth and kneeled on his stomach until he could no longer breathe. Afterward, he left Aaron at the crime scene and returned to his employer's house. According to the police investigation, after Aaron asked his mother to go outside that afternoon, Kevin invited him to look for spiders in the mountains. Aaron even brought a storage box for the spiders made from a matchbox. The game Gagamba, spider fighting, is popular among Filipino children. The game involves placing 2 spiders at opposite ends of a stick. The first spider to fall off the stick 3 times loses. In some versions, the spider must be eaten by the opponent's spider before being considered defeated. Kevin was arrested and charged with the murder of Aaron.
That's insane that if his story is to be believed, that his brother was mistreated. Let's say that story is true. And his response was, "Oh, you mistreat my brother. I'm gonna kill your son." Like, that's insane. Instead of leaving the business and not talking to these people, he goes to kill her son. That's insane. That's not normal. Like, that's fucked up. That's batshit. It's crazy. That's insane.
On August 19, 2014, Lucius Robbie packed his car and set out from Horseshoe Bend, Idaho, heading for Missoula, Montana, to start his junior year of college. However, the California resident never made it to the University of Montana's campus. Friends, family, and volunteers searched desperately across the vast mountain wilderness for any sign of Robbie, but to no avail. The 21-year-old, who grew up near Orleans, had been working as a guide for a kayaking and rafting company in Idaho that summer. He left his workplace on the afternoon of Tuesday the 19th and was supposed to arrive for orientation the next day at the University of Montana. Robbie told friends he planned to camp that night in a tent somewhere along the way. He was driving his 1997 green Subaru Outback with 2 unusual kayaks strapped on top. One was an orange Zet Raptor Creek boat, which is extremely rare, and the other was an orange Fluid Nemesis, which is relatively uncommon. There were numerous searches by law enforcement.
What? Why is this a big deal? Why is this part specifically a big deal? I don't know why specifically these need to be mentioned.
And volunteers in the area Robbie was believed to have been traveling. Friends and family said it was extremely unlike him to not show up for his first day of school. Volunteers scouring gas station surveillance footage in Garden Valley, Idaho, spotted what appeared to be Robbie's green 1997 Subaru Outback with the California license plate 6CC P540. His cell phone signal was last picked up in the nearby town of Lowman. Search parties pored over maps and called for more planes and helicopters, hoping someone would spot the bright orange kayaks that might lead them to Robbie. His family members and friends flew to Idaho to help with the search too. At approximately 6:20 p.m. on August 28, 2014, over a week after Robbie went missing, a privately contracted helicopter involved in the search spotted the tip of Robbie's orange kayak in the pine trees off an embankment on Highway 21. Tragically, Robbie had died in a car accident. Investigators concluded that on August 19th, Robbie had been driving northbound on the highway before something caused his vehicle to veer off the 60-foot embankment, colliding with several large pine trees. The county coroner reported that Robbie died immediately from blunt force trauma to the head. Tire tracks that would normally be left on the soft roadside shoulder had been washed away and obscured by wet weather and thunderstorms.
That's about the most tamest ending to a missing person thing I've seen. Like, honestly, that's tame as shit. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.